things go a little bit better when you planned it. Hey, the most you send me your location as focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to control. Send me your location as right the vibration. I don't need nothing else but you. Let's ride, y'all. I want you right. I said, come and ride with me tonight. Right. I said, come and ride with me tonight. Right. Hey, come and ride with me tonight. I just need the time and place to come through. Hey, done this. Yep. Hey, PJ, send me that location, dog. Hey, put me in GPS and let's ride. Outside, put me in GPS and let's ride. Hey, move. I said, put me in GPS and let's ride. Hey, Kansas, ride. Let's ride. I said, let's ride. Right. I said, put me in GPS and let's ride. On beat. Hey, put me in GPS and let's ride. Hey, Pam, T.I. Hey, put me in GPS and let's ride. Let's ride out. Work for a minute. Yep. Oh, three-man band. They dog this 20 goddamn minute. Come on. See ya. I said, swell the man, Tim. What it do, Tiffany? Good to see you in the building, Lord. Oh, hey, 17. Yes, Lord. Hey. Hey, Julie. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday, Flo. Well, hey, Karen, goddammit. Hey, Karen got a birthday. Let's work for a minute. Hey, Ray, hey, 17. Right there. They see money all around me, so they think I'm the man. Hey, but I was down and out this last week. Tell me, when were you there? You came out at party, girl, you know, like a man. You just a fan.
What another woman can say is very different. Some women want them long and skinny. Some women want them short and fat.
For some women, they're
Hey,
right.
look, don't stress with
It don't happen as much with the G-spot.
I did look at the package before to make sure that I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yes, you know, ain't no race in the world been through what Black African Americans have been through. But also that came along with the program, came along with this and the fear. The least amount of power. Yeah, the least amount of power. You gonna take that. I'm gonna ask you a question. Can the president make a law?
The ones that Capitol, that was the first anybody that's in here that ever said, I'm American. For years, hundreds of years, white people always felt that it's not theirs and they can take it.
All right.
Look here, y'all. Real sharp talk. 9812 Piscataway Road. 9812 Piscataway Road. Just Right Barber Lounge. Also, Just Right Here Studio. 9810. Just Right Here Studio. 9812 Just Right Barber Lounge. And tonight, we got a good one for y'all tonight. I'm telling you, we got a good one for y'all tonight. Got Tony in the building, our special guest in the building, and we jumping in there real heavy because a lot of things that have been created, or a lot of things that we subscribe to, or a lot of things that we get introduced to as normal, we got real questions about it. Like, where did they come from? Especially if we start looking at history. For those of us that, believe in what the Bible says and listen to some of the Bible story, a lot of things that we've been taught out of tradition might not necessarily be right. So we jumping into it tonight. Monogamy. Tony.
All right, I want to give a disclaimer.
Can you do your introduction? Can you really say who?
Well, I want to introduce our special guest. We got my baby sister here. I don't know what name she want to go by because we are live. She'll give you that. We don't do governments right here for everybody. We got Nicole. On the set. But real talk. We talk about monogamy, but I want to set the stage, right? What we're about to talk about is not anyone's personal view or how they feel. We want to ask some questions, right? So we're in 2021 and we get caught into these what I call societal norms of what is quote unquote right, what is quote unquote wrong, and we want to kind of figure out like where did this come from? Like I feel like we follow a lot of traditions, a lot of norms, but I don't understand where it generated or where it comes from. So tonight's topic is monogamy. We got a lot of men, a lot of women out here who are in relationships, situationships, and they get real sticky and messy because we feel like you're supposed to be locked into this situation with one person, and if you dabble out for this or that now you're just wrong, or you cross the line, you blur the line. Where did that begin? Like where did the whole ideology of being monogamous start? Where did it come from?
So for me, I was looking up when we talked about it from the production meeting guide, and just even in our chat. I just kind of looked something up, and it has some pretty good information in it talking about monogamy, either kind of where it came from or where it stemmed from. Some of it had like 400 years ago, some of it had like 1,000 years ago. It has some extensive timelines. One of the things that stood out to me is that I think that monogamy was put in place to control or work against STDs. Now, of course, if you're with one person and it's just y'all, you kind of like trace it on in. But if you out here with multiple partners and all of that stuff like that, you just never know where it goes. That was just one of the things that kind of stood out. But Juice, right? What y'all think?
Well, I want to explain to Juice. Juice gave us in the pre-show conversation. Juice gave us a great point on an article that he read, dating back to the days of kingship and how money played a part in what you were allowed to do and were not allowed to do.
Now I had a conversation with someone earlier today, just talking about what the subject matter was, and I had to go look it up after we spoke on it, and it was back then, like it or not, the kings of different countries and or I guess towns, because back then it was more about the town, the king of this town versus the king of the other town. Those kings had multiple wives, and your finances, your gold or whatever you want to call it, dictated how many wives you could have. I mean, you had guys that had up to 9 wives, but you had to be able to take care of all 9 of those women. So hence is why when you go into, say over into the Middle Eastern countries where they can have multiple wives, and it is not you can have them, but it's all about you being able to take care of each wife the same. So if one wife get a car, wife 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 has to have a car as well. If you buy a house for wife 1, on down the line, they all have to have wives as well. So for those that didn't have the money to afford themselves to have multiple wives, where monogamous comes in as to one, you had to become a king that was monogamous to say one woman, one queen, whatever you wanted to call it, because like it or not, you know, queens, you can't be a queen without a king. And I think sometimes we all, in today's society, we tend to forget about where the word queen came from, because there's so many, you know, so many individuals, women and stuff that, you know, they consider themselves queens, and you should. By all means, you consider yourself the hierarchy of whatever it is that you do, but understand that the word queen comes from that word of, you know, them having the king. So, I mean, that's kind of one of the places that some of the things that I've, you know what I'm saying, I read.
Also, to kind of piggyback on here, from my study and just reading up on it since the topic, is bloodlines. A lot of monogamy had to do, or where monogamy was introduced is based off of bloodlines. People trying to keep their bloodlines pure, so they would be with one person to keep their bloodlines pure and to keep their name. So say for instance, if you have a child and based off of you having that child, you have multiple children, sooner or later you're going to lose your name. So to keep your bloodline, keep your name, they kept going, for lack of a better word, even sometimes incest, to keep their name and their bloodline strong by staying in a monogamous relationship and staying in one linear direction, so to speak, as far as relationship. And so, I mean, I find that quite odd that people are basing it just off a name and their bloodlines.
So, do you all ever feel like it's quote unquote wrong if someone decides that they want to have multiple men or multiple women? They don't want to be tied down to one person.
I believe it's situational and a personal and individual, where their mental state is. I mean, some people are not, I don't want to say mentally capable, but are prepared to deal with one thing. It's a lot of sacrifice, it's a lot of compromise, it's a lot of communication, it's a lot of giving of yourself when it comes to dealing with just one person. Because you gotta, to make it work, it's a continuous task to make it work over here. Because as you grow, that person grows, and things of that nature. So for you to just be with one person, maybe this one person over here has something that you like as characteristic, but they don't have something that this person has. And you can get your fulfillment by dealing with them in that one aspect, but you know, if you got another fulfillment that you need, you can deal with another person. So I mean, it's all up to the person, because when it comes down to it, it depends on what mental state you are in and where you're at as far as your life.
Let me ask this guy. So here's our official definition of monogamy: the practice or state of being married to one person at a time. Next definition says the practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner. The other one is the habit of having only one mate at a time. Let's just ask a real question. Does monogamy make sense in 2021? Does monogamy make sense in 2021? Tony, what's our guest name again? I'm sorry.
Nicole,
what say you?
Kill him!
Yeah, it makes sense. But then, in a sense, if you want more than one person, isn't that being greedy? And then it comes sometimes it forces you not to work on things in yourself, because then you get a scapegoat. If I don't like this with this person, I go to this person. If I don't like this and that person, I go to the other person.
So when we say, Nicole, being with one person, are you talking about being with them wholly or just sexually?
Holy.
Wholly.
All together.
So for me, I'm saying, what if you're with a person and there's no more sex? Something happened, operation, sickness or something, and they can't have sex no more. You got desires, you're a woman, you try and get beat. So what are you going to do?
Then it also depends on your standpoint. So then you talk biblically, you know, you with them sickness through health, and no matter what happens, you have that commitment. You have to deal with certain things. You have to figure it out. or do you escape and do whatever you want to do?
Gotcha. And I like that you said biblically, because Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. I'm listening.
I understand. I'm just saying, it depends on your preference. Ultimately, it depends on your preference. What
Solomon
you
also had
want,
to take care of themselves, otherwise, and 300.
Absolutely.
and in 2021, I don't think everybody's making it like that. So.
That's kind of how Tony described it. I mean, just described it. You take care of, you have to get more equal.
But are we talking about in a marriage sense, or are we just talking about sex, though? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I'm talking about whether you look at it from a sexual standpoint, whether you look at it from, I want to have, because some dudes, it ain't all about some dudes or some women want to have multiple relationships, right? Because they get some different relationships. Some people just say, I'm cool with having one. And for me personally, what you choose should be your choice.
Yeah.
It should be your choice. I think society has placed these norms on and have told us what to deem quote unquote right and what to deem quote unquote wrong. And then we have people who are living their lives trying to live up to societal norms and put themselves into a box that they don't fit into. Like, you should be okay to say, I want to be a homosexual, without somebody looking at you saying, oh, man, you gay? You like girls? You like niggas? Like, why? Because society says it's wrong? Like, you should be, if Juice wanted to have 3 women for the week, he should be able to have 3 women without saying, oh, that nigga a hoe. Or she can dick down for everybody. That's her choice. That's her preference.
And to piggyback what you said, Tony, that's an excellent point. Who said monogamy was the right thing to do?
That's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying. Who even came up with, like, this is the right thing to do? This is what you're supposed to do.
You don't think monogamy is a control measure? It could be. I mean, like we bow down, and we've all sit there and say that we bow down to certain things that are control measures to control us to walk, to act a certain way. You don't think monogamy is one of those things to act a certain way? You're with one person, because if you're with multiple different people, then what? I mean.
But if you think about it,
could it be population control?
Society pushes multiple people, multiple sex parties. That's what they push. So I'm trying to figure out
society with.
What's society? At least what I see
You saying the media?
in DC, Maryland, Virginia. I'm saying it gets pushed that if you have multiple people, in certain circles, and what they play in videos, what they show on TV, having multiple partners is the end thing to do. So my question is, where did monogamy come from?
So Dave, that's what brought me to the question, right? So reading online, just reading articles and looking stuff, like this whole idea of a throuple is a big fad right now. People having these throuples and having multiple people in these relationships, and multiple people in these sex situationships, like it's a big thing with our, I wouldn't call it my youth, but younger age, early 20s, early mid-20s, it's a big thing right now, right? Like, but what makes it wrong? Who to say it's wrong, who to say it's right?
I mean, I think everything, when you look at it, once again, control measure. A lot of the things that we based off of society is based off the Bible. And you think about the Bible's, I mean, as much as we want to say it, but Bible has been used to be used as a control measure.
See, I've been looking at the Bible all week, and I've been looking for the verse, and maybe somebody can help me, Daddy. I know you have me in it, my sister have me in it. Where does it tell you that you have to be with one person?
It don't. Listen. It don't.
I've been looking front to back in the Bible for it to say that you have to be with one person.
I've asked theologians, I've asked preachers, I've searched myself with an open mind, right? Where did you ever in the Bible, and Courtney, I know you listening too, because you heavy in the Bible, wherever in the Bible did God condemn anybody that had multiple wives? Not the behavior. Like Solomon, he was worshiping other gods, he was into a bunch of whole stuff. But where in the Bible was it ever condemned? Watch this. God even told David, if you would have just came to me, man, you wouldn't even had to do this. Because he went after Uriah's wife, had him killed because he had got Bathsheba pregnant, and if they found out, she would have been killed. So he had Uriah killed. God told him, listen, if this wasn't enough, you could have just hollered at me. You could have, and this is the Bible. So, I mean, hey, Rodney, what do you say about that?
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think somewhere down the line, as a control measure, someone instituted, and once you get a large group, or for lack of a better word, once you get white people to do something and influence something, the fact of the matter is everybody then bows down and starts following it because white is right.
Let me just ask this question, man. Everybody listen, everybody here. What's wrong? Just like everybody got, maybe 1 or 2 cars, got different pair of jeans, different pair of shoes, you switch up, you eat different food. What's wrong with just having sex? It's just sex with another person. I mean, it's just a muscle, a wet muscle.
So now,
what's wrong? What's wrong with that?
The emotions, yes. The STD part of the article that you sent in, it makes sense, right? Because when everyone starts doing that, you got a lot of different juices flowing and mixes, and you do run a risk of a mass STD breakout when people aren't doing it safe and properly. So that's the one thing I would say is wrong with that. The other thing that Juice and Knox don't necessarily agree with, but soul ties are real. So like you do transfer energy when you lay down and connect with that person. There's a transfer of energy. Whether you want to accept it or not, there is a transfer.
Oh, you believe it? You believe it now, Tom?
I was never against soul ties. I was the one who brought it up in the basement.
Okay.
I mean, hey, first of all, to his first point, you're trying to prevent something that's happening anyway. The sex craze is tremendous. It's beyond statistics. Because we already know teachers having sex with kids, priests having sex with pastors. So
You're just going deep. Let them go.
So So we talking about STD, worrying about that. There are preventive measures for that. And if people want to do that, they doing it. And there's probably a lot doing it, and it's a lot not. So that's not a reason not to. I'm with Danny, like, people, the problem is the titles. And like you said, there's been things that's put in the Bible. The Roman Catholics is very powerful. There also was a story about the kings put, what I say earlier, what it's called, when you mess with somebody else's wife, what it's called, fornication. Mm-hmm. They put that in there because they would go to war and leave their wives and the security and stuff in the castles and stuff like that. A whole big gigantic, and they gone, they ain't got no cars and planes. They gone for 7 years in the war. Come back, they got 2 kids, stuff like that. And they had to put it in religion. They had to make it like Rome. They couldn't make it a law. They had to make it like, man, we gotta do something about this. But that's been going on for years. They had changed, like you said, they used the Bible to dictate our lifestyle. Because it was opposed to, I hate to use the word, I'm gonna just say it, to put a little fear in us. We fear going to hell. They try to make it like this place, hey, if you don't go to this hell down here and we'll burn up, But that's what they portrayed to be. So now as we get in these 2000s, we all stuck on these titles and these things. Like when I tell y'all I'm not into titles, like these words that they created for us to obey and follow by, it's not that. I can show you better than I can tell you. And this girlfriend, boyfriend, all that. Who want to keep it? To say you love somebody and I love 10 people and I used to love him or I used to love her. Then how you stop? How can you say it's unconditional but you used to? That's like contradicting your own self. So, and for the Bible, we know that the Bible, the interpretation of the Bible, the scriptures in the Bible, that's why we have all these denominations. That's why you got Utah out there believing those compounds where they keep it all in the family. They believe in that. Keeping the blood pure, I think somebody said. They believe in that. And you got a whole bunch of, that's why we got all these denominations.
Knox, let me ask Nicole this. Nicole.
Can we check the chat real quick? Don't see anything.
Yes, a lot of chat popping. Chat popping. Very popping. Aretha Montgomery says, I agree with Coach Tony. Courtney says, a man gets 2 women pregnant at the same time because he carries the dominant gene, because he carries the dominant female's energy / pheromones to others. You got Tink Fenwick. Tink Fenwick says, you have a point, James, talking to Knock. Let's see, what else we got? So they're going back and forth. The chat really, really moving. Super, super heavy. Wow. That's crazy. But my question for Nicole is, what if society came out, or whoever's in power, let's say the president, or whoever would influence a lot of decisions, came out and said, hey, listen, our scientists, our scholars have dug through things and have studied things and have found out that we were wrong about monogamy. That, you know, if you want to have sex with, you know, another person and you married, you know, that's on you because we've been wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Would you do it? Would you be with it?
Ultimately, you go down to your core beliefs and values, what you want to do. I don't like sharing. I'm selfish. So either way, no matter what anyone say, I just want one person anyway. And then
But that was taught though. That was taught though, Nicole. That wasn't that you came out the womb and said, I want to be selfish, I want to be monogamous. That was taught, learned behavior.
No, I've been hoping for it too, so I know what I like and what I don't like. So there's some things that sexist, because some people be like, okay, this nigga got bad hoes and it's okay, but then when a female fucking hella niggas, it's like she a hoe. So you got two different standards for anything though. So it depends on again how you look at it. Because a lot of niggas ain't be fucking with that girl. She got hella niggas, she getting smashed out all the time, but they can smash hella bitches all the time. So it still be double standards no matter where you look at it.
Yeah,
Juice, what you think, Juice? What you think, Juice?
They definitely wouldn't bun her up, but they probably won't be next. But
Bonds says, and
Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 7. I'm gonna read it.
That's from Cam.
And it states that polygamy is unlawful, and that one man is to have but one wife, and to keep her, and that one woman is to have but one husband, and to keep him, and the wife only had a power over the husband's body, a right to it, and may claim the use of it. This is power over. Like,
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I really appreciate it. Appreciate that, Ray. I mean, we do it for me. I get how women feel, like when women feel, and the majority of the time, we as individuals, meaning women and men, when we talk about these things, it is strictly based on sex. Strictly based on sex there, and from my understanding and reading things, like some things had nothing to do with sex. Some things had nothing to do with sex, but it is amazing how we put so much on sex. Like it's, to me, it's like crazy how sex now changes your feelings, changes the way things should operate with a person. Like, then we were doing fine, but once we had sex with each other, now things should change and go to another level. I mean, if like as things progress, they progress, but sex shouldn't be the reason that they progress out. We do a lot based on the Bible, men and women, when it's convenient for us. You take scriptures from the Bible, you do things with the Bible when it's convenient for you. There are so many people doing things outside of what the biblical sense means to just live in everyday life, let alone in a relationship. Wow. But then we turn around and we're put in a box because we do things that say the Bible deems like unnormal or whatever the word is we want to say, but then we turn around in the same sense, we doing other things that the Bible said we shouldn't do. So I mean, what's right, what's wrong, what makes you like, don't judge whomever it is. Like, I'm not going to judge if Cole decides that she want to hit 4 dudes or whatever it is. Why should I judge based on like what it is? I'm not about to sit there and call you out your name. I try my best not to do that. Like, I'm gonna stay consistent. I don't like to call women though the B word that it seems to be so easily used out here, even by women. But I mean, we got so many things that like people will throw biblical scriptures out, and they like, even people in the church, they tell you all these different things that you should and shouldn't do, but then you are living totally by the Bible as well. So here's what we're gonna do. Don't tell me about scriptures 2, 3, and 4 if 16, 17, and 18 don't matter too. Just my opinion about the way we live like everybody makes everything about sex.
Did he read a comment? It went away by Ms. Harris.
Yeah.
Let me see. You got it there?
Yeah, I got it back. It says, biology never agreed with monogamy. This is from Crispin Harris. Biology never agreed with monogamy. It makes more sense to spread your seed far and wide than be with one person. If we are talking about sex as a biological function, monogamy doesn't make sense. And I'm gonna ask this question. Who put sex on this high pedestal?
This one, thank you.
Pedestal.
Amen. Real question right there.
It's the holy grail of everything.
Man, jeez. We talking about sex like it's gold. Sex like water. You gonna get it anywhere, and it's plentiful. It's plentiful and it's given away. It's laying around. You can get it anywhere. There is no age restriction technically. But gold, you got to dig, you got to plant, you got to spend a bank and get a gram. But that's the problem. People mix sex. This is what I feel about sex. This is my opinion. To me, and I know people don't like this opinion, and they ain't gonna admit to it. Sex like eating your favorite meal. It's good while you're doing it, and when you finish, you're like, damn, I can't wait to get some more. You know, that's it. Because when you don't feel it anymore, when it's done. You feel something else. But when you stop feeling love, that's when it's all messed up. That's when you messed up in the head.
I know.
Sex and love don't go together.
I understand your perspective.
Sex and work.
A lot of why sex is put on a pedestal because we always talk about procreate. We always talk about procreate. It's always talking about living off legacy and what's that? How do you create? Sex. That's where sex comes with it. It's always part of it. And then why sex put on a pedestal? Because sex has been intertwined with the word love.
When did sex become a leisure activity?
Huh?
When did it become a leisure activity?
And before you answer that, Rodney, let me address this comment from R. Barnes. It says, God created Adam and then formed a woman, Eve, from one of his ribs, and brought her to the man. God did not create several women for Adam. Now keep in mind when you make this statement, this was all before sin. This was all before sin. If they had never Eve, it probably would just be Adam and Eve. We don't know. But when sin came into the world, now we populate, be fruitful, and multiply. We got sin in the world, we got to live this thing out. Because that's a whole deeper conversation when you start getting into redeeming man from sin, the redemption process, and all of that. But before sin, it would have probably just been Adam and Eve. Because God made Adam a helpmate. That's all it was, a helpmate. Simple as that. So,
hold on there, did you see the last question? Harris on
the road. She said, are we talking about monogamy in terms of sharing sex or sharing intimacy?
Intimacy.
Hey, Charlotte,
talk
loud and low.
Let's get a psychological answer for
I'm about to get Ms. Harris on the phone. I'm about to get Ms. Harris on the phone.
Christian Harris.
Where we mic'd up at?
We ain't gonna be able to hear her. That she'll just be able to talk online.
We can't put on
She'll
the
be able to talk online.
mic. So we can't take a mic too?
We won't be able to hear it though.
Okay.
Because we don't have a speaker in here.
Okay.
The only thing that I could do is send her a link and she would come on the chat and I just turn the speaker up in here. But it'll be you can put it on speakerphone.
Send me the link.
You can put it on speakerphone. No, just put it on speakerphone. We can hear from speakerphone and then you just gotta get close to a mic. So Ms. Harris, we gonna go ahead and buzz you.
You got a call coming through.
Real quick, and just for everybody else, while we get this call through, we gonna set things up so we can send you out to a link. Send you out to the link so you can get on and so we can hear it. Everybody can hear. But go ahead. What we got? Tom?
Over
there about you. Nah, leave it there, right? Leave it there.
Let him just. He can say right there. Move your bag.
So Ms. Harris, we want you to break your whole ideology down between monogamy versus
sex and intimacy.
Sex versus intimacy.
Okay, so
in my book, monogamy means that I'm not sharing, right? But we have to be clear about what it is I'm not sharing. Are we saying that I'm not sharing your body, I'm not sharing you physically, or I'm not sharing your being, I'm not sharing your soul, I'm not sharing your dreams, your heart? Like, what are we saying I'm not sharing here?
They Juice.
Anybody want to chime in?
I ain't really hear it.
One more time. Let me hear.
Because I feel differently about sharing someone's body than I do about sharing their soul. I don't want to share your soul.
Well, that's so tight.
But if you want to share your dick or something, that's on you.
It gets deep.
So if you want to shake, I'm gonna come up. So if a nigga want to go around and dump dick off, that's his business. He can dump dick off. But you ain't with sharing his inner being. He ain't with him sharing his most deep and vulnerable moments where he being.
Correct. If I want to continue to have sex with you, knowing full well that's what you're doing, then that's on me.
Right.
But where you get into the exchange of energy, where we're starting to talk about the give and take, it happens on an emotional, spiritual, mental level. None of that is physical. Don't get excited. Sex is a biological process like shitting and eating. It's not the same. The reason it becomes different is because you include the spiritual aspect. It is not inherently different. So if you don't include the spirit, you have done nothing but took a shit in somebody's bed. It's not different.
Woo. Okay.
Woo. Oh, somebody disagree. I got disagree.
And I got.
Really get here.
That's all she got. That's all she got.
All right, Ms. Harris, if we need your time, then we're gonna hit you back. Mr. Keeper.
Say yes, man. Speak on it.
Mr. Keeper the stack. He definitely gonna come back at you.
All right.
Stay by the phone.
We just heard the comments from that was Ms. Harris, and they were very, very interesting. And at the end of the day, this is simple. It all really boils down to a choice.
Yes.
At the end of the day, like Ms. Harris, you don't have to fuck nobody because that's how you feel. But there are men that are just like, hey man, I feel like driving my SUV today. I feel like driving my sport car. I feel like driving my bike.
Hold on, Dennis. You gotta understand what she said though. That is cool. She said if you're merely just dropping dick off, or if you're merely just having sex for the sake of having sex, the biological aspect of having sex, it's simply just an act.
Absolutely.
Where it gets misconstrued is when we start, as Knox would say, we equate sex to love.
Absolutely.
And start intertwining these emotions and feelings and spirituality with it, instead of just being what it is. It's just fucking sex, as Knox would say. It's just sex.
There's other things you work on. There's trust. You know, you got those things you have to earn. It isn't given. So trust ain't laying here on the floor. You gotta earn trust. You gotta work at it.
Say give a woman a choice and be honest.
Now we got another call in that says Courtney. She disagrees. Courtney, I'm thinking about getting you on the phone so we can hear what you talk about when you say you disagree. If you want to get on, if you want to get on, Courtney, give me a call. You know how to reach me, so I can put you on so we can find out why you disagree. Why you disagree. But if you don't want to get on, just go ahead and leave your comments in the chat. But Courtney disagrees.
We got curveballs.
Courtney disagrees.
Courtney disagrees.
Let's find out.
So
go ahead, Juice.
Let me ask then a question off of everything we're doing, and it's just a question, like we said, where it doesn't really impact anybody's views, but
we're just challenging the thing.
We're challenging everybody to think and just wondering and give honest answers, at least to the point that they can. Is in today's society, 2021, because that's what we're living in. We're living in today's society. While we may try and live in societies from people in our past, is, if I had to ask a question to anyone, is monogamy in 2021 for male or female, is it unrealistic? I understand that there are definitely people who just, who believe in what they believe, and I'm saying, is that a unrealistic one? I'm asking, because clearly it should be different. People should have different opinions, but is it an unrealistic one? This
is what I'm gonna say, Juice, to that. unrealistic. I'm not gonna say unrealistic, but I'm gonna say in 2021, in the microwave age that we live in, where we're surrounded with plethora of choices, and when shit don't go wrong, the first thing we do in this day and age is, well, fuck it, I go get a new Benz in the car out across the street. You don't want to fuck me? She will.
Is it?
So,
Right.
Good, thank you, Rita. And like I said, this is all about just hearing thoughts of others. I mean, we have at least 20 listeners going on right now.
so
I'm quite sure we got other people.
I don't think it's unrealistic. It can be done, but I think
Definitely can be done.
I think it's harder now
Exactly.
because this day and age, no one respects the struggle or the process of anything.
So I'll go back to the majority of our listeners know that we all coach. And even with Aretha who's watching, and then we got a couple of other people who we know, Raider, I'm just saying a few that I know, they know we coach with an iron fist. Today's society has told kids that if I don't like something, I move on to the next thing, where those parents that are definitely, that we've encountered with their kids, they would make their kids stay and fight it out. Like, you know, you're not walking away, you're not quitting. And I feel like in relationships it's the same thing. When it gets a tad bit tough. Now, listen, I'm gonna say sweet words or nothing to this person in their ear, and then listen, they're catering to your feelings and your ego, because right now most of the time you become an emotional person. So if somebody feeds your emotional need, then you tend to, they really like me. So you, once again, you're listening to them, and then everybody feeds into something, and then it becomes, instead of working on what you have here at home, and this goes for men and women. I'm not, believe you me, I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about both sexes. I think where it becomes a tad bit unrealistic is when you talk about, as Tony said, the amount of choices that some people have. They just go to the next thing. I mean, they're just like, hey, if you don't want to celebrate my birthday, then I'm off to another person who is, or you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You know, like you say, your love language is, you know, knowing what it is that makes you go. If that person's not feeding your love language, then you're looking for somebody else.
Hold on.
Just let me ask this.
Hold on, real quick, Daddy. To piggyback on what you said, people don't really know how to build strength. How do you build strength in a relationship? You have to endure things. You have to when you still build strength, just for physical strength. What do? You put your body through stresses and different. And what's that? You tear your body down to what? To build it back up. People don't understand when it comes to relationship to put yourself through those stresses to make a relationship stronger.
This film just almost made me laugh out.
But here's my question, real quick, Tony. Real quick. How come we making such a big deal about monogamy in a married relationship or whatever? But before people get married and niggas dating different bras dating different niggas, they fucking. Let's keep it 100. They having sex. Nicole.
You're single till you married.
Woo! So with that being said, it's okay to not be monogamous.
Everything is about communication. Like nothing's unrealistic if you have unrealistic expectations because you haven't communicated that. If you say where you are and what you want, then you communicate. They gotta meet you where you are. But
so why is it okay?
Playing games whatever you want, and then you're expecting something from me, then that's different. Everything needs to be communicated.
So why is it okay when you're single, but when you get married? I mean, you can have sex, you ain't really get, emotionally attached or nothing like that. Because what's the difference between being single and being married? Emotionally attached, you saying, hey, I'm gonna be with you, you gonna be with me, and all of that stuff like that. But when you're single, what are you doing?
Then I'm gonna have to lean on the code, like,
go ahead, contract. Go ahead.
When you get married, I feel like, and I think Ms. Harris said earlier,
right.
Like you just need to say it, like, yo, if this is our agreement going into this marriage. You know, I like to have multiple sex partners.
Right.
I like to dibble and dabble.
Right.
Are you cool with that? And if you're not cool with that, then maybe you're not the wife for me. Like, just be upfront about it.
Right.
Hey, because you'll be surprised the amount of women who will say, Cool, if you can do it, I can do it. It's good. We can do it together.
Well, hold on, but you
Hey,
asked
Rodney,
what
hold on, we got a call. Hold on, we got a call. Walking over to you.
You asked to join in a marriage. The joining a marriage is a contract. You're joining two people together. That's marriage. You're combining two people.
That's him, Miss Nicole. Hold on.
All right, we got Courtney on the line. Courtney, can you hear me?
Kinda.
Can you hear me? How about now?
I mean, I can hear you, but I hear the stop.
Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and make your comment. What's your comment on the subject?
In essence, basically what I feel is you're having two discussions, but you're trying to access it from one.
We're having two discussions, but we're trying to access it from one. Can you elaborate?
Right. So basically, you're having a spiritual conversation, and you're trying to apply the flesh to it.
Okay.
So in the spiritual sense,
You can't not include the spiritual in it. You're a spiritual being, and you have to remember that the society that we have.
but what I would say, Courtney, to that is that even if we look at it from a spiritual sense, if we look at it from the Bible, in the Bible, I've asked this question: Where has having multiple wives or even having sex been condemned? Now we get fornication, so I get fornication, but having multiple wives. Okay, so if you got multiple wives, there's no monogamy in multiple wives. So where has it been condemned by God if you got multiple wives?
Well, it tells you in the Bible. I think it's Thessalonica. It tells you about the whole purpose of people living their life was to worship God, right? That was like society. You had people who didn't; they chose not to. But the whole purpose of it was to live in honor and worship God. And as you do that, you have different people that rise to different parts of the synagogue or the church or whatever, and you have those esteemed people, and it tells you that those people have to be relegated to the husband of one woman. And that evolved and took care of all of society eventually, just like language evolves. You know, things go from one microcosm and become a part of the macrocosm.
Okay, I get it. So we're gonna move on, Courtney, and we're gonna talk about what we just talked about with you. So make sure you keep listening and commenting and everything like that. We're gonna get back on with everybody else. All right?
Okay.
All right. I'll hit you up later.
Peace.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. A lot of people will definitely throw that believe the spiritual sense of it. A lot of people will throw the spiritual conversation and assume that God had everything set up, one man, one woman. But when we clearly look at the Bible, we look at the person that God gave the most wisdom to, which was Solomon. So you would at least think Solomon would be up on game, like, yeah, I better just get one wife. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. The wisest man to ever be created, to ever live. There will never be another man wise. Then you had David, who was the apple of God's eye, who had a man killed and married his wife, the man he killed, and God was just like, listen, if it was not enough, all you had to do was ask me. So this was in a marital sense. So we all understand that if you're in a married sense, Nicole, that if you got multiple wives, there's no monogamy. And biblically, there's nothing that speaks against it. Biblically.
It still only puts it on men, though.
It's still what?
It still only gives men the right, not women the right. It's even if you talk about biblically.
That's just, well, I can't say that because that's just all we see.
Right.
I'm just saying that's all we saw in the Bible. But we don't know if a woman has multiple husbands, if that's cool. We just never seen it. So we can't assume or say that that's what God, had intended, that it was just only for men to have multiple wives versus women having multiple men. Because shucks, they had whores and prostitutes back in the biblical days and all of that stuff. They had all that back in the biblical days. So all I'm saying, and Courtney says, Solomon also said it's all vanity. Yeah, Courtney, but we just got to make sure we understand the context though. And again, God never condemned Solomon for having 700 wives nor 300 concubines. He condemned the vanity. He condemned the worshiping their gods, their other spirits, and all of that stuff, but not necessarily the marriage, not the sex in the marital sense. Now, all we saying right here, as we talking about monogamy, ain't nobody still really answering me like, if you, so it's cool if you single, according to Nicole, to go ahead and just sample and taste everything else, but when you get married, it ain't cool. I'm simply saying like, why isn't it okay if you marry to hit? Hold on, I got you right. To hit somebody else, because if you Rodney, I'm getting ready to come to you, because what you about to say is marriage is a contract. So why do we have sex on such a high pedestal then, bro? You on, Rodney?
But what? You asked that, but marriage, when you say why is it different from being single to what's that? When you married, you're joining two entities. You're joining two souls. That's why the ring is circular, because when you ring, basically it is.
The ring is just a symbol. Don't make it no more than that. Because there are people that get married without a ring.
It's a symbol, but the purpose of the symbol is basically taking two ends, joining together, making it one whole solid piece around where you can't see where it's joined at. It's becoming a whole. So that's why when you sit there and say from single, you're taking a single person and you're joining another single person, becoming one whole entity. So that's why when you sit there and ask, what's the difference? The difference is you're taking two similar, well not two similar, but two different people, and you're bringing them together.
I'm just saying it's just a little bit of sex.
So then I want to switch, not really switch lanes, but give a different thought process, right? First I have a question. Does monogamy only deal with sex?
For me, yes.
So let me ask you this
For
question.
me.
Let's take sex out of the equation.
Okay.
You're a married man, but you're in an emotional relationship. You ain't hitting her, but you have this emotional connection with her.
Woo!
Now,
Man with emotions?
a man and a woman.
I'm just asking you, man. So my opinion, I'll break prior to you finishing your statement, because I don't really like cutting people off from giving their statements, but men with emotions become that's a dangerous combination, seriously, because I'm not saying we don't have emotions, but we aren't emotionally driven individuals, and I'm not saying for all. So please, listeners, don't think that I'm saying that there are no men out here that's emotional, because that's a lie. I'm saying that we aren't driven by emotion. So once a man tends to, once he's emotionally involved, it becomes now you're talking differently. Now you're talking a tad bit differently. So apologize. I'll let you finish, brother.
No, I just want to does that fall in the same boat as me going out against some ass?
See, this is so.
Because me personally, I feel some type of way with the emotional relationship rather than you just get hit.
Like, so what this is now, like I said, again, this may not be for everybody, but I've learned over time, and I've been taught by, by our elders, that men, and I hope I don't offend anyone, men can have sex with no emotional ties. They show up, they perform, do whatever they do. If they perform, great. If they don't, when they leave, no emotional ties. But women tend to have an emotional connection prior to even having sex. And there's a reason that I feel like there are times that some people put sex on such a high pedestal. It's almost like, yeah, we can go out, we can do this, we can talk on the phone, they ain't gotta call me. But as soon as sex is involved, things change. Things change. So, like I said, once you involve, you know, the emotional factor from a male's aspect, because most men aren't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at, you know what I'm saying, I'm an avid, anybody who knows me know I'm an avid National Geographic watcher. Like I tend to watch how animals operate in their everyday life, and lions are one that if a male lion comes into a pride, he kills all the babies that's not his. He killed the babies that's not his. He has no emotional ties to any of those lioness. So whatever these little, because at some point in time, those little male lions become the owners of prides. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, looking at, you know what I'm saying, that's not saying we're animals, but at the end of the day, like it or not, man, we operate from an animal aspect, and wow, it's just amazing how some animals work, and then how we work as humans.
And the animal species is way more natural than human man is. So they living off what they meant to do. We've been modified, over-influenced, transformed. The animal kingdom, well, they don't got TVs and radios, and they ain't living off how they live, how they was created. They operate off their instinct. We came along and made things complicated and added this word, and we don't want them to do this, so let's do this.
But that's why I say, let me add to what you're saying. That's why I'm like, when I'm asking everybody online, like, listen, before sin entered the world, for those that believe the spiritual side of it, it was just Adam and Eve. Adam was actually good. God said he was going to create a helpmate for Adam to keep him company. Adam didn't go to God and was like, hey, I need a helpmate, or I need some company. I need somebody that's the opposite sex to me. Adam was good if you read your word. God put Adam to sleep and created him a helpmate. There was no sin. So there was no need to add multiple women, multiple women, multiple men, multiple women. Right. It was just Adam and Eve. Here you go. You got somebody that you can identify with, that's the same flesh as you, and all that stuff. Just like the lions, bears, and all the animals had their opposite, man had his opposite. When sin came in the world, that's when this whole big Pandora's box, how we choose, how we think, what we're going to learn, everything like control, who's going to be in control, who's going to have multiple wives, only if you got money you can do it, and all of that stuff. And a lot of things just got taken out of context. So that's why I say, so a question for Nicole. If you got a boyfriend or you married and the sex is like that, nigga knocking your box, man, I'm talking about here to Albuquerque. Nigga in an accident. Paralyzed from the waist down. Woo. Wood can't get up no more. Woo. If it's your boyfriend, if it's your husband you leaving and go and get some dick somewhere else, you won't.
It depends on why the person's in a relationship in the first place. If sex is the sole thing for your relationship, then you don't really have an intimate relationship.
I'm just asking a direct question, Nicole.
I understand, but
are you gonna stay or are you gonna? Let's start right. We're gonna ask the first. If it's your boyfriend, if it's your boyfriend,
you give the answer
that's your answer.
If it's your boyfriend, if it's your boyfriend, we'll start with that one first.
I wouldn't be in that situation anyway, so I can't answer the question.
So what?
It won't be technical. I wouldn't even be in that situation though.
To be technical.
When I ask a technicality question.
Okay.
Wait a minute, give me some ice.
Okay. I want to assume they think maybe I'm confused.
You ain't got to be confused. Cold. Yeah.
Do what you do, just be corrected. You don't know.
You don't know sharks or not. So, okay.
Your partner.
There we go. That's a better one. Your partner. If you with your partner, that's your partner. Or if it's your wedding ring partner, and the sex stops, it ain't just happening no more. Whether they tongue get cut out their mouth or whether they would stop working. Woo! If it's your partner,
give me some ice.
Are you leaving?
I mean, you gotta look at all of the relationship. It depends on what. I'm not the type of person that's in a relationship just sex. Sex is everything for me. I need more than that. I need mental stimulation. I need to stimulate my mind. I need more than just sex. I can please myself, to be honest. I don't need someone to please me. I need them to bring more to the table than just sex. If you're in a relationship with just sex, then why are you in a relationship? That's why people I think stick around, because you just want sex. You don't want no connection. You don't want no intimacy. You just want to get off.
Now that's she put it very well, but he didn't say just, and I heard you say just. So I like that. So he's not saying just sex. I guess to answer the question, would you seek it in addition to everything else you have? If you subtract something, would you go get what you got subtracted from?
No, but then go back to the building relationship. Then you're going through a struggle, something get cut off, or something's missing. Now I feel like, well, I don't have this one thing, so I'm gonna take away everything else I have for this one thing and go find something else.
But the topic is sex, not something else.
No, I'm not.
There you go. So you got answer no. That's your answer.
Okay. All right. So we got.
I just want to know why sex gotta be the bar.
That's what I'm saying.
Why
Like
sex
sex
what?
brings sex.
Why
Why
gotta be
does
what?
sex have to be the bar? Like why are we basing relationships and how we stay in relationships, how we move in relationships off of sex? Like I've heard women say, "Oh, the nigga dick game ain't right." I ain't saying.
But it's so weird that when we express as males, I'm gonna say males because I don't want to. Again, we're on a podcast and we're just trying to give a broad view of things that we hear, especially here in the barbershop, that others may not be privileged to. Because there aren't a lot of men who open up and talk to women, you know what I'm saying, the way that maybe men talk to men in the barbershop. It's almost like if that happens to a male, we're nitpicky, we're, you know what I'm saying, we're hard on what it is that we want out of a woman, and then we're shallow-minded because it may be something from the physical sense. And, you know, I was always taught, and anybody online can correct me if I'm wrong, it's the physical sense that draws me to you first.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the physical that draws me to you first. Now, once the physical gets me to you, now I have to find out what's in your mind, what it is you like, what you dislike. Are we gonna be on the same page? Do we eat the same things? Now we get into the deep part of trying to figure out the person itself.
That's real life. That's a car dealership.
That's it.
That's in the.
When you first see a car, you don't know what kind of engine it is.
That's a normal.
You like the way it does.
You gonna see what you like first, and then you gonna try them on. Like, damn, they look good, but they got too much arch.
Yeah, they got my feet.
Yeah, you gonna. That's what you.
I mean, so you don't just listen. But I don't think when people talk about, you know, it is because there's so many of us men that are considered dogs, that we're considered shallow-minded when everything is physical. No, everything isn't physical. It starts out physical. Just like for a woman, if you're sitting across the bar and Coach Knox looks at you and he maybe sends you a drink waist high, if he's not your type, no matter how nice he's been, it stops right there at the bar. That's where it ends. Vice versa, a woman can see, you know, you have so many women that be like, okay, men are, and I know this, we're going to have this list and go, you know, men are hunters. Yeah, men are hunters, but then they're natural, women are hunters too, because I mean, in the world of the animal kingdom, the majority of the people who go get the food are who?
Yeah. And women want to be hunted.
The male lion only comes in. No, I'm serious. I mean, this may, like, anybody know me know this what I do. When I'm in my spare time, I'm turning on National Geographic. I can watch the same shit over and over again. And they talk, you know, they act like, watch this, the lion. No, the lioness, they go hunt and they don't do anything until who? They don't, if it's something that they can't pull down, whatever signal they give to Coach Tony, hey, I need you come take this motherfucking bull down. And then he comes in and takes the buffalo down, and then guess what?
I just feel like it goes back to when I stated where the whole conversation about monogamy started from, with societal norms. I feel the same way about sex. Like, society just puts too much emphasis on sex.
See it?
Like, I've literally heard women, we've all heard women, oh, he gives me everything, but girl, that dick ain't good. Like,
so you gonna fuck up a whole 92% good nigga? I mean, I know, but I get it. Cause us as men sometimes, If her sex ain't good, we gonna fuck up a 92% good woman and be like, I'm going over here to KK over here. KK shit bomb. Well, guess what? We don't have any emotional tie to KK. KK's there for one purpose. KK's there for one purpose.
That's it.
Yeah.
To serve your physical need, and then we're gone.
Yeah, I think I agree with Tony. I think that people, even the word monogamy, I think people just. Somebody said something earlier about sex and it's spiritual and all. I just feel like it, like she said earlier, it's all about why are you having sex. If you having, and unfortunately people do this. If you having sex to get a man or get a woman to make her or him like you more, then that's just the wrong reason. That's just a fact. And it's no bonus. Like just because we go out 10 times and I ain't giving him sex till 6 months. What that do? All he doing is going out with you and getting sex elsewhere until you're ready. And eventually, if you keep on waiting too long, you can be like, I forget it.
Fuck it.
So that really don't serve no purpose at all. It's a waste of time. Just listen, do what you want to do. Don't have these ulterior motives. Just if you don't want to have sex, then just don't. If you feel it, then do it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't put all these conditions on it and these coattails and all that stuff, man. Just do it if you want to do it. Stop making a big deal. It's just sex. And when you try to make it more than that, that's when trouble come along. That's when separation come along.
Tink say
anxiety.
Tink say she make men wait so she can get to know him.
For what?
What is the sex? You say you won't get to know him. Evidently, he don't want to be there. If you gotta have sex to get to know him, to hold the sex out. That don't mean nothing. If he want to be there, he gonna be there. It's just like the ring theory. Forget the ring. That paperwork. This thing ain't called
here we go.
marriage license.
Here we go.
What you need that for?
Here we go.
Who need a marriage license? If I want to be with you if I say, because all it is your word, that paper don't mean nothing when you separated, when you cheat on her,
So
she
you say
cheat
your
on
word
you,
is your mom?
y'all leaving different
Would you
houses.
say your word is your mom?
It's supposed to be.
It's the word Shabon. So
But word ain't nothing.
So
But your word ain't nothing. It's credit. What happened to people credit?
Huh? Well, on the word ain't your credit. Word is your mom. And
No,
your
word is credit.
It's credit.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's the credit.
Because you can't see it. You're buying something that you can't see.
So-
I love you, yeah. Man, you get old fashioned with it.
So when
and then
you
he
say-
told 7
so
other
when you
people,
say
I love
something-
you too. I love you.
When you say something, and I take it as credit, so I think it could be bullshit or it's true.
It can be bullshit
can
or
be
true.
bullshit.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
What is cash?
Huh?
Cash is actuality.
Cash is cash. It ain't
It's
no
right
shit.
there in your face. You see it. What you say, 50? Bam, 50. There it goes. It ain't a fact until it's a fact. That's what it's a fact. Words ain't numbers. Blah blah blah. It proves it's on the end.
So that was great conversation. And look, understand it wasn't intended to sway you one way or another. There is no right or wrong answer. It's all in what you believe.
Right.
What you believe and what you want to live by. But you know it's that time of the night. You know what time it is?
Know it.
It's that time of the night. Y'all ain't
Cole wasn't ready for this, but Cole wasn't ready for that. She's like, what they talking about? What they talking about? Put her back. Put her back.
I know I've been away for
Put her in the
and you ain't heard this, but it's time to put the babies and kids to bed.
The motherfuckers in bed.
Let me see who online. Who got babies and kids? Let me look on here.
The curveball is on the way, and
Alright.
I'm sorry,
Christian Harris, you got babies and kids?
they better be in bed.
Aretha, yours grown. I already know you ain't.
I do not know what Day is about to say out of his mouth.
T, your kids grown too.
I have no clue.
God damn.
Only he knows.
Uh-oh, sexy Betty. Your kids sleep.
What this about here.
Put all of them to sleep. All of them to sleep.
You gotta take that sexy Betty.
Put the babies and kids to bed.
All right.
Let's go searching for dinner,
Baby,
baby.
your kid grown too. Both of yours grown.
I
Ain't put nothing in there, I forgot. I
threw this question out.
Go crazy.
I threw this question out, everybody, in the chat, because I'm just curious. Because of course, when we start talking about sex and you feeling somebody, you in love and all of that stuff, the question that I posed was this right
You
here.
really about to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, we got.
But I'm saying we can have a part two.
Ooh.
We can have a part two.
I'm just gonna let you know I'm killing your bitch ass. That's my answer.
Hey, before you go on, Diddy, can you? I see somebody got on here late, and she asked a great question.
What's the
But
question?
I think y'all answered it. I wasn't sure. She said, so was the, where'd it go?
Dr. Carrera.
So was the actual history of monogamy told?
I knew Dr. Carrera was coming on here,
Hey,
late.
hold on. She just called me. She like, call me.
God, please, Dr. Carrera. You turn.
We are all in. We are all in, Doc.
A little more than that.
Hey, but no, we're gonna revisit this topic again. So, but no, we gotta throw this curveball right now.
It's curveball time, Doc.
Woo, Doc, the curveball time. Stay in for this curveball, though, Dr. Carrera.
With Tony ass.
We like you.
First and foremost, with Tony ass go.
Hey, I'm coming.
Come on, bring your ass out here.
In the grown men's room.
Bring your ass. He want to go get a sip of ginger beer.
All right. So here we go. Here was a question that I asked. I know we got men cougars out here. We got women cougars out here.
Cougars.
Now, if you out, you at a bar, and men and women, you out, you at a bar. Men, you meet a young lady. Women, you meet a young man. And y'all hit it off that night. Let's just say they 23, 24, maybe even 25. And y'all hit it off that night. Y'all drink.
You don't know.
Y'all drink and all of that stuff. Man, y'all have a good time. And y'all really feeling each other that night, man. You go home and you end up sleeping with them and everything like that. And, you know, work schedules are, you know, off and on. Y'all talking on the phone. Y'all video chat. Y'all get together. Y'all hit again. Y'all end up just getting close. And let's say y'all put a month in.
Who getting close?
Both of them.
Men and women.
Oh, this ain't the one.
This
This
coming.
No, this is how he
Shut the hell up. You shut the hell up. You go ahead.
This is how he changed this shit around.
So, you know, y'all out, y'all hit it off and everything like that. Work schedules, you know, what it is. Y'all end up, now a month goes by. Y'all been spending time with each other, going by. Man, one particular weekend, male or female say, you know, hey, my family having a cookout. You know, I want you to go ahead come on through and everything. And they like, man, bet. Let's do it.
He's some shit.
Let's bet. Let's do it.
He's some stuff.
And listen, y'all feeling each other. You get to the cookout, and you walk in the cookout, and the person you bring in, the person that the 25 or the 24-year-old brings in, the cookout that you go to, somebody's there that knows them. And it happens to be their father or their mother. It happens to be their daughter. And you and the mother are friends. So let me set it up. You're the older person. Lady, you're 45, man, you 45. You dating a 25-year-old who happens to be your man's daughter or son.
But you don't know they the daughter.
But you never knew. You absolutely never knew. Y'all done already.
Hold on.
See how he changed the shit up?
I didn't change shit.
You ain't
I didn't change shit.
You did change
Go back to the thread then, nigga. Go back to the thread. Let me finish my setup. Let me finish my setup.
You changed the shit.
Let me finish my setup.
We did now, so.
Man, we in that. You end up finding out that, damn, this your man's daughter or this your man's son. But I'm talking about, man, y'all been fucking like crazy and y'all feeling each
That's
other.
my man, and he know that's my daughter.
Do you stop
That's crazy.
or do you keep it going?
Man, I'm busting this shell all up in this motherfucker.
But here's my question. They grown.
Hold up.
They are grown men and women. What fucking difference do it make?
Here he
Go ahead,
comes.
Nah, hold up.
Word person.
Let me say this. I woke up.
What you say?
I didn't know my phone was on, but when I got to the text, I heard somebody say, J-Mo wants to text, emphasize, because somebody said, Knox ain't gonna give a fuck anyway. And that's all I saw. I didn't know what y'all was talking about. I missed all. So this is what y'all saying, Knox ain't gonna give. Now, see, I don't like that word dating. That's scary. Dating. I'm a word person. Boy.
Here come the bullshit.
Now, I'm with Tony. You say my man, and I don't know that's his daughter? Sheesh. I would rather you say it was somebody I knew. I've been knowing for a long time. He ain't my man, but I've been knowing for a long time. And when I stopped dating...
Let me preface like real quick. Let's say you mentioned your kids, but like, hypothetically, I haven't seen Simone ever. Like when she was young until like now only when she came to the shop. So if I was just, and I'll use me. If I was out at MGM, she gambling or something, I know her name's Simone, but it's not clicking that this
Right.
your daughter. It's more than one Simone.
Right.
So we putting it in that sense. Your man might know you got kids and all that stuff like that, but just that he ain't been around you and nothing like that, never seen him and all that stuff. Go ahead now.
Man, it's tough. I don't know how to.
Y'all been there.
Want me to go?
Hold on, I'm supposed to be doing what I'm asking.
Go ahead. Get yourself together. Go ahead, Juice.
I got a question. Hold on, I got a question.
No,
I want to make sure I heard him right. You've known this man since '92,
Yes.
and you're just now seeing his daughter.
Old Simone, yes. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I don't
he
even
ain't
remember
seen-
seeing Simone when she was young.
Because I had a shop. When Simone was born, no, Simone was born in my shop or in the
Was she
head.
born in? Was
She born in N2A.
No, she was
She
born
born
in.
She born in N2A.
in the head.
Hey, she born in N2A, and then
No.
it was- yes,
All right,
she
we'll
was.
come back.
yeah,
All right, we'll come back to that.
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Juice.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, so with a lot of our listeners, like it or not, it's a double standard.
It is.
Here you go to J-Mo shit.
It's no JMO shit. I'm fortunate. When I say the word fortunate, please believe I would have loved for everything to have a little girl, but the way I police my son may not be the same way I police my daughter. You get there and you find out that it's a possibility you know Keisha.
I mean,
Not a possibility. You know.
No, I know Keisha. I'm just saying, I'm not as mad.
All right, ask you a question.
I'm not as mad when it's my son
Ask you a question.
as if my daughter come home. I just told you why you may give me the false face.
To me-
I'm telling you, there's a double
I
standard.
like the way Juice told it. To me, the better story would have been
Hold on, now,
just
can
that.
I ask this question now?
If Tay told you, I can't say.
Hold on, listen. Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on, stop. No. If Tay came home and said, I hit Forestville.
Wow.
And I know her, I'm gonna be like, you want me to give you my honest opinion?
That's what we're here for.
My motherfucking sit back down and be like, is it everything that people think it is?
No, you right though. I feel you. Me having a son
Because
and a
it's a
daughter.
male.
Me having a son and a daughter. If Simone came to the cookout and brought a co-worker or another coach I know, Howard Hill or something. I said my fault, man. I didn't even say your name. God damn. Woo! I just be like, my hair would just raise on my back. I was like, oh. I would just tell y'all. I'm like, y'all see that shit? Because I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it.
But remember, she grown.
I know, Daddy. I know.
You gonna be pissed.
Nigga, she is never grown in my eyes.
All I'm saying is
She's my daughter.
All I'm saying is just the kids are
She is
grown.
grown. I don't even want her to mess
She
She
with
ain't grown in my eyes. My daughter is not grown in my eyes.
I don't
She will
know.
forever be my baby.
I don't
I'm
want my
sorry.
daughter to be with nobody I know. I don't care if it's a kid. I don't give a damn if it's her age.
Like,
I
listen,
don't know.
this is what I'm saying. Here's what the
I don't
double
want to be
standard.
nobody.
To me, here's what the double standard happens. My son could be with whoever the
Yeah,
fuck
I ain't
he
gonna lie.
wants.
That's true.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Because as a male, and listen, even when you hear women police their son, they police them a tad bit different than they police their daughter.
They do.
And, you know, we were even coming up, for me, you know, and my little cousin, I was allowed to get away with things that I thought, you know, that my little cousin couldn't get away with. You know what I'm saying? And prior to, now that I love and know my sister, I police her differently than I would my own son. I probably police her harder. I wonder who the fuck she's talking to. She grown. She's grown. So yes, it's a double standard, like it or not. If it's my son, and he comes home and tells me he booked somebody older, then we might go pop the bottle. We might go get the bottle.
On the flip side, one of your men was hitting Shelby.
Huh?
When you found one of your men was hitting Shelby.
Huh?
Said it.
Huh?
Saying
No.
names.
You said somebody I know. So the first thing I'm gonna do.
She older now.
She older. What? How old is she? She 21, 22?
22, 23.
No, let me tell you, everybody knows I'm overprotective of all
That's right.
the girls. Shit. Simone be scared to introduce me.
Yeah.
Simone grown! And I presses her boyfriends out like they suckers.
Yeah.
And dare you to draw anything. So let me just explain you how I'm going. I'm going to ask you, the person that I know, I'm going to give you the chance to stop doing what it is you're doing. If I find out you're still doing it, because I've already came to you and told you my discomfort with it.
Man, that don't bother me. She give me that good neck.
I'm so, listen, that's cool. I'm going to tell you my
Hey, look, that's so close right there. I don't know. Hey, man, let me show you something back in my garage.
So,
I feel like you did it on purpose.
Juice, here go the scenario. What if your daughter?
I had a dating moment.
What if your daughter gets pissed at you? Like, listen, Dad, just stay the fuck out of my business. I'm a grown woman. I mean, I love you, I appreciate you, but we in love.
I love the way you're talking.
No.
I like to address. No. I apologize.
Hey, let me get some powder. Somebody give me some powder.
Let me explain. First and foremost, the way I live my life,
Right.
my daughter wouldn't dare open her mouth like
Thank you.
She gonna already know the type of person I am.
Yup.
She gonna know the type temper I got. She may say she's in love with him, but she gonna say it in a totally different way. She ain't gonna say it the way the habitual scenario giver said.
I love my brother.
And I understand how the habitual scenario giver does. He loves to give the scenario that fits the narrative to change your mind. But if you give it to me that way, I have to give it to you the way that I've been brought up.
Can I go change it up?
Go ahead, Tom.
Hold on, can you ask Diddy first? He got a daughter too.
The daughter, you got a younger one, then you got an older one, right?
Yeah.
How old your older one? How old your older one?
Be 22 with
22, perfect,
Yeah.
right?
You know, I'm kind of accurate though with that. I'm just saying I'm a little accurate.
I got a question for you.
I'm just saying I'm an AR boy.
I was 23 for 25 twice.
I'm real accurate.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you ass up.
it's
This is just curveball.
Listen,
There's no fucking way that's gonna happen with my book.
it's
46
Hey, look,
to 50.
your daughter come home, say, Dad, I need to talk to you, right?
Okay.
Can we sit in the living room? Can we talk, right?
Shit. Okay.
She like, yeah, Dad, you know, I want you to know before I get back to you in the streets. I'm pregnant by Tay.
I'm what? I didn't hear the last.
TAE.
Pregnant by this dude we know real good. I ain't gonna say his name. I'm not with, so I know that.
I didn't hear the last part. All I heard was
Somebody, your daughter pregnant by somebody you know real good, real
I'm
good.
pregnant by a dude named Dante.
Wow. Let me show everybody. Let me show everybody what's gonna happen. In case y'all don't see it, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. And it's not my God. Thank you, but it's not my first rodeo. So next question.
What's gonna happen?
Juice is coming out on the screen, man.
What's gonna happen to who?
It's gonna happen to whoever she tell. I think I heard you spell the name.
So you gonna let your grandchild grow up?
Hey, listen.
So you gonna let your grandchild grow up without a
I don't know about the wrong people, Mrs. Harris.
Saying, man. I mean,
They're gonna tell me too. I know her friends too, Miss Harris. I know her friends also.
Exactly.
see,
And believe me, I get information that my daughter don't know.
but see, I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'm gonna tell y'all really why it's probably tough to hear that as one of your guys is because we all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
We know deep dark secrets. We know how we all kind of get down. Because at the end of the day, they grown. If it's somebody we don't know, then we'll just be like, you know, watch out for that nigga, look for this, look for that.
Yeah.
But if we all know each other, that's probably why it would be more sensitive in his home.
Oh,
Because we all know
she
each
getting
other.
an abortion.
Well, first of all,
I don't give a
me
fuck.
personally, that
She's
24
pregnant by
to
him, you
25,
getting an abortion.
I kind of agree
Taking
with
it
Rita.
myself.
I can't go that low.
Gunshot
I'm
abortion.
sorry.
Hold on, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Rodney. What you
That 24 to 25, I can't go that low. We on totally two different mental mind state.
You mean dating? You mean
I
like girlfriend, boyfriend?
can't date. No, I can't go that.
So for 25-year-old, if a 25-year-old at the bar, and she coming on to you, she drinking, she grab your wood, kiss you on your neck, and wants you to hit, she saying you ain't gonna hit.
Say not yet.
Shots fired.
I had 5 girls and only had, let's put this up on the screen. I think that's what y'all get. I had 5 girls. I only had to fight 1 baby daddy so far. I don't tolerate disrespect. Can't have one of them he got. I still have a few things I got to get off my record. Okay.
Okay, Miss Fenton.
Right. What was you saying, Rod? Getting back to you. You said 24, 25.
Can't
so
do
you
it.
tell me if you at a bar,
Can't do it.
25-year-old.
Can't do it. I'm not even looking that way. That's just me mentally.
How the fuck you gonna know how old she is?
Huh?
How you gonna know how old she is?
I don't understand. What thing? I mean,
Soon as she open her mouth. Huh? Soon as she open her mouth, you gonna know how old she is.
I'm saying, what is she talking like a businesswoman? Like she just got.
Soon as she open her
That's
mouth.
already open her mouth.
Soon as she open her mouth, you, at this stage in our life, if you can't tell that shorty is under 30, 25, then bro, we shouldn't be friends anymore.
So, I'm with Miss Harris.
What was her? Cause she
No, Miss Harris, man, great. Listen, Miss Harris, for the
Miss
sake
Harris,
of
just so y'all
saying-
know, Miss Harris want to come on the show next week too.
Great.
She more than welcome.
Hey, I like the way she talked too.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
I would love to see her go against that.
I'm gonna say
What's
this.
her name? Lady?
First of all,
Who? Courtney?
Yeah. You got religion versus realistic.
I'm not really.
Realism.
I'm not getting.
Realism.
I'm not.
Ooh, that's a
I'm not involving myself with someone that's my son's age.
Thank you.
That's the first thing. Secondly,
I'm about to get one for him.
That's okay.
I'm feel my daddy.
it's okay. But should I find out someone that I hit? Let's just say hit, because we use the word hit, right? Is my son's age? Nothing serious can ever come from it. Maybe when I'm 70 or 80 it could. But right now, absolutely not.
So, Juice, you in the house.
I'm in the house.
You know, you go downstairs in the kitchen, you cook breakfast and shit when you get ready for work or whatever.
Cook breakfast. I'm with it. I am finding good chicken or turkey sauces.
Yeah.
That's it. Or corned beef hash.
Take her to Joan
Take care of the junk.
in the house. You
In
ain't
the
know,
house.
you ain't know she was in the room.
Uh-huh.
She come down to the kitchen. She
Uh-huh.
ass naked.
She wouldn't be ass naked in my house.
Okay.
See, I need you to give me a scenario that would matter.
The standards to the house.
See, listen, the standards in that house,
No,
give me a standard that could truly happen.
Let me finish though.
Okay, go ahead.
She ain't ass naked by mistake. She come out of the room like she going to the bathroom. She slipped down the steps.
She lose herself. She passes the bathroom and comes down the steps. Okay, here we go, Day. Thank you. Go ahead.
You turn around, she like, how you doing, Mr. Holden?
Hey.
She say, Mr. Holden, she
Who's
fucked
saying
up.
that? Who's
So
saying
listen, once you say,
I miss her.
see, listen, I got one for you.
But it ain't no regular Mr. Holden. You know what the fuck she's saying.
But once you say, how you doing, Mr. Holden? Woo, whoa, sure, you make
It ain't no bad.
Shorty get up there. Listen, at the end of the day, I ain't gonna put it out, but I don't think none of our sons mess with no flukes.
You have a point.
Say it again.
Hey, whoa. Go upstairs, shorty, put that clothes on, cause I don't want to get,
What?
Put that thing away.
What you don't want to get?
huh?
What you want to get? Say that
I
again.
don't even want to have a second thought about what my first thought tells me to tell you get your ass upstairs.
First,
The first thought. I don't want to have a second thought.
because you already got resistance.
I don't want to have a second thought, no matter what you
I know
tell
you
me.
don't want it, but you know.
I don't want it, so I won't have it.
You know what's killing me? I don't know why the fuck they acting like they wouldn't
know,
hit
man.
a
And it's
happy
good-
death,
listen,
pretty feet, 25-year-old chick.
No.
That's still fucked up.
Go ahead.
So let me explain again. Nobody's saying hit. You, habitual scenario giver, said date
Rodney said him.
No,
I said
listen.
him. Rodney said he
Listen,
ain't doing
if you don't, once you tell me your age, then I don't.
Well, wait,
That's where it came from. Once you tell your age.
I'm just
25.
He did 25.
24 to
Jim, 25 years old. Exactly.
Huh?
How you act?
25, man. Listen, if she walking around the house, if she looking for me, you find me. Here I go. Tony. Tony. That's a grown man.
How you gonna act? You ain't married. You ain't married. You
Y'all
out
can say the
here.
right thing. That's cool. Y'all can say the right thing on this goddamn podcast. That is cool.
Hold on now.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not here. At 25,
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We just listen. I'm just getting
I'm
adjusted.
just listening. I'm a word person. Go ahead, Tom. Let me get some water while you talk.
at 25, she ain't mentally stable for what I'm about to do.
Thank you, Tony.
She ain't mentally stable for what I'm about to do to her.
So
Daddy,
I can count.
it's women out here 40 plus
Right.
who can't take this jump.
And then you don't know until you're finished. So that 25-year-old could be more advanced than that 50-year-old, but you ain't gonna know until you get up. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you say you finished, yeah.
I want to know.
I'm not even talking physically.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking mentally.
You ain't gonna know that either.
Oh man,
That 25-year-old wait for Rodney. You still here like you ain't down yet. 45-year-old like you gonna call me when you get home. 25 saying, Rodney, he just left.
right? I mean, Knox, let me ask you a question, Knox. Real talk. Now it's the
You remember you gotta think about why people have sex.
Knox. Listen, Knox.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the 5 of us in this room. How many 25-year-olds have had shit done to their body that we doing to females? I ain't talking about just getting struck. I'm talking about elevating their soul out their chest. Yeah. And ain't many 25-year-old niggas walking around with the black bag.
Let me say this.
Yeah, come on, Frank.
I'm gonna come back to old Doc over there. Well, let's go.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit,
I
dog.
don't give a damn about that. When she was 10, I'm 25. I don't give a poop.
25.
I'm talking about now.
She legal now.
I'm talking about that. Listen, it's women on TV that sexes and they 25, 40, 30. I'm 54. If they want to do it, man, I don't care. When I was 25, she was 10. I don't give a damn about that. It's girls in the WNBA right now making bank overseas. Yeah, I'm gonna make a baby by them. They make $1 million. I don't give a damn what.
Shit about. I'm
Man, hold on,
she ain't never had.
how many of them? I have no idea, but this is. I'm into pleasing.
You hitting that in?
At 25,
You striking?
if I wasn't married, absolutely.
You striking?
Cause I'm into pleasing. I ain't thinking about
It's just sex.
what happened to him. I can't control.
Yes.
So you just gonna fuck her. You ain't giving her the real deal. You just gonna fuck her.
What is
It's
this
just
for you?
I thought that's what we was just talking about here.
The real deal? No, stop.
I'm with you, Tony. I don't discriminate.
Relationship.
I don't discriminate. Once I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate. Hey, once we start, hey,
Once you-
this is what you get. You getting the show, baby. Now, what happened to you when I finished? That's on you. What was you wanted? You was walking. You came downstairs. I was in the drawers, pictures of sandwich, and you asked me all these questions. This what you wanted. This what you wanted.
I'm saying, oh, you got she walked downstairs. She stands all over. Pretty feet. God, they smell good. I'm talking about the jump jiggling.
So let me ask you a question. It's cool. I get it. So do I know that she's there for my son?
No, this directly.
Well, how the fuck are you in my house?
Yes.
I don't know how the fuck that came up. That was something else that they.
So that was my scenario.
That was Tony's scenario.
Yeah, I don't care.
I said 25 years old.
She finished with him. He sleep. You know,
Wait a minute.
Tony just said it. Young, they got. He upstairs. She's 25. She's a veteran. She wants more.
Watch this.
She was an older nigga. And that's what old niggas do. Y'all know too. They don't want to know this shit upstairs snoring and shit. He put in for 15, 20 minutes and shit. She already know. I got it. She see me with I got my backpack. I got my drawers on and my backpack. What you got there, Mr. Knox? I want to know. Yeah, I'm I'm Mr. Knox.
And I'm just saying, I'm with Knox. I'm a word person. If I'm there to mind my business, she come down there, ass out and everything. Hey, Mr. Mace. Hey,
You can control when it's just talk.
I ain't controlling shit. The only thing I'm gonna control is this wood game I'm gonna give her.
I'm gonna play the
It's
game
gonna be
she said.
uninhibited.
But
It's gonna be uninhibited, my nigga.
She a grown damn woman.
She a grown woman. She know what she
She
doing.
got bills, paying cell phone bills.
So let me ask you a question.
hey, bro, we ain't
I got one for you. So
Go ahead.
last night. So do you in turn tell your son?
Absolutely. I'm telling
Oh, since
you.
you want to do that, then I got a better one for you.
Oh,
You better not love
I
her.
got a better one for since you want to do that. He coming, bro. Hey, Dad. I got the John. She told me she want to spice it up a little bit. You want to come hit it with me?
I ain't doing that because I don't want to see no niggas naked. That's just my thing. I don't want to see niggas naked. I barely watch porn that way. I watch 2 girls and a dude. I watch 2 girls get on fire.
You might be the only one.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
My son
I had a bad experience with that, man.
My son hey, Dad, try to spice it up.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all a story before we get out the air. Me and my man, I grew up with him. That's my man. Came to my father's funeral, everything. Always the same. That's my man. Grew up with. We had this girl over his house, and I know his parents ain't watching. We was in the basement, and we both had her. We both getting ready to get down, and I'm a titty man, and I must was too late to get into the titty. When I got to the titty, the sucker titty, that motherfucker was soaking wet, and the highs on my back. And I vowed that day never again when I said.
Rita said, Doc.
Rita, stop that, Rita. Listen, Rita, stop acting like that.
Jesus.
Hey, check this shit out. Tell him
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for joining us tonight. It was a great conversation. Some hell of a good laughs. It's hers. I know you're coming to town next weekend. Hey, stop by 9812 Piscataway Road. You know, we can have some good conversation. We're going to find a female who can challenge your thought process.
It's gonna be between Raider and Courtney. Yeah. Woo!
Hey, good one, Raiden. You said you want to know when these topics are being brought up. I'll make sure you know.
Subscribe.
Hey, we're going to make sure
Hey,
that Friday
hit the
you
like,
are
hit the
working.
subscribe
You
button.
will not be working.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, hit the likes.
Rita, team, everybody, please subscribe.
Subscribe, like, bring a friend, and most importantly, we want to hear what y'all want to hear.
Daddy.
Hear us talk about. So if you got topics you want to talk about, go in the comment section on the YouTube app. Drop your topics that you'd like to hear us talk about. Hey, this is all about fun, entertainment, but also opening up your mind. You know, not being one track minded. Have different views.
And bring somebody in.
You don't have to always agree, but just think different. Get outside the box sometimes. Bring a friend next week. We see you back here same time, same place next week. Day, take us out.
We out of here, man. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, man. And I'm telling you, it was a great conversation. Got Big Tony back in the building. He's been gone for a couple weeks. Want to send a happy birthday out to him, Mr. Curveball himself. Again, 9812 Piscataway Road. Make sure, listen, I think we got all the protocols in place. Come on through, get your hair cut. Also, ladies, we got a salon for you next door, full service, everything over there. Just right here, Studio 9810, Piscataway Road. Make sure you like and subscribe. And like they said, anything you want to talk about, anything that's been on your mind that you want to put out there, you can put it in the chat. We're going to have the chat open for a while. Also, you can go to the Facebook page, The Real Shop Talk on Facebook, and drop it in there. If you know any of us, anybody that we've invited, you can send us text messages, so when we have our production meeting, we can talk about the next topics and all of that stuff like that. So again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming through. We'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Go ahead.
You know any barbers looking for a chair? We got 4 open chairs. 4 open chairs here at 9812. 4 open chairs. Any barbers looking for a chair? Come by.
3 to 2, but yeah.
I gotta use a braider too. If we got anybody who braid little kids' hair,
Braiders,
I have about 4 stylists. I need a braider or something, or a makeup person. Hit me up 240-765-9132. 240-765-9132.
Hey, look, man, we open. The city open.
One more time. 240-765-9132.
Hey, we open, the city open, everybody getting their hair done, haircuts. We know y'all have brunch on Sunday. Y'all have day parties on Saturday. Y'all in the club on Friday.
They doing anything for Father's Day?
We know they all on Father's Day. They out here any day party.
Yeah, I know y'all ain't doing nothing for Father's Day. I know. If y'all having a cookout, let us know. We all fathers.
I almost forgot it was Father's Day.
I know. Ain't no commercials.
That's how we get treated. That's another thing.
Ain't no stands outside.
On the brunch.
We might have to talk about that next week.
We gonna talk about that next week.
This is sickening, man. I mean, like, I ain't really seen no commercials for Father's Day. I ain't seen no.
Daddy, stop that. Lowe's having a special on lawnmowers, the grills and shit.
They give you a $25 coupon.
I bet you ain't nobody gonna buy you a new grill.
Oh, I bet that, dude. You right.
They want you to go get your new grill, and they gonna buy the food for you to cook on.
Yeah, and they gonna be there on the lawn chair chilling while I'm under the hot sun, smoke in my eyes and shit.
My point exactly.
Yeah, man. We like to thank everybody for coming on through, man. Chat will still be going. Chat will still be going. We gonna be in the chat, hitting it up real good. We like to thank everybody for tuning in. We out.
That's great.
Some women, they're
Hey,
right.
look, don't trash with
It don't happen as much with the G-spot.
I did look at the package before to make sure that I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yes,
You know, ain't no race in the world been through what Black African Americans have been through. But also that came along with the program, came along with this and the fear.
The least amount of power.
Yeah, the least amount of house. You gonna take that.
I'm asking you a question. Can the president make a law his own?
The words of that Capitol, that was a front to anybody that's in here that ever said, I'm American. For years, hundreds of years, white people always felt that it's not theirs and they can take it.
Happy birthday to you, Flo. Happy birthday, darling. Looking for you, just put a light. You know I see them. Listen to the skies, the way you treat me. Keep holding on to your thoughts of rejection. When you're with me, you're so good. And you keep telling me that your time is always taken. But I keep seeing you out the Lord. Listen to love, darling. Don't with desire. Waiting to be a hey, Tiffany. Hey, John, always good to have you here, home. Man, nigga, good to see you in the building, baby. Happy birthday to you, Flo. Congratulations to your brethren. All night long for you, baby. Sammy. Yes, Lord. Happy birthday to you, Leon. Yellow brick in the building. Hey, T.I. Hey, want to Sammy. Let's go, y'all. Hey, Ray, what we gonna do, Ray? That's your baby there, boy. I swear to goodness, they won't do Sammy. Yeah. I swear I'm not when you party with me. But let's get into it, y'all. Sing it, Ray. I want you Sammy. Your location has focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Place to come through. Sammy, your location has rise the vibration. I don't need nothing else but yours. Hey look, at times I wonder why I'm fooling you. This is new to me, is it new to you? Eventually, I didn't wanna fall, but you got the mindset and it was all for you. So don't take it back, don't leave my heart. That means I understand that things go a little bit better when you planned it. Hey, so won't you Sammy, your location, let's focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Sammy, your location, let's ride the vibration. I don't need nothing else but you. I don't wanna fall in love over some sweet song. Let's get personal. I got a lot of cool spots that we can go. Tell me what's the move and I got you. I'm only acting like this cause I like you. So give me the vibe to slide in. I might make it by the night and Sammy, your location has focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Sammy, your location has rise the vibration. I don't need nothing else but you. Play it with me, girl. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's get it down. Hey, look. Hey, that's not the wonder why I'm fooling you. This is new to me, but is it new to you? Initially, I didn't wanna fall for you. Got the mind, cause then it was all for you. So don't take it back, don't leave my heart. That means I understand that things go a little bit better when you planned it. Hey, so won't you Sammy, your location has focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Sammy, your location has rise the vibration. I don't need nothing else but you. Let's ride, y'all. I want you ride. I said come and ride with me tonight. Ride. I said come and ride with me tonight. Ride. Hey, come and ride with me tonight. I just need the time and place